guys, it's her from Consumer, and tonight I'm going to be doing a review over the 10 best iPad 2 cases for kids. This can also be useful if you're just trying to find a really good iPad 2 case for yourself, because obviously the best case for kids is the one that's going to be offering the best protection for your iPad 2, and so it can go both ways. My two older kids are getting iPad 2s for Christmas, so they should be super happy about that. But what I was worried about is getting them a case that is going to offer protection and going to keep their iPad 2s in working order for several years to come, because obviously it's a gift that they can use for a long time, and my kids are really young right now, so I definitely don't want it to be something they have for a year and then, don't have anymore. So anyway, the very first case I ordered was the Otterbox Defender case, because whenever you think of protection for an iPhone product or Apple product, you think of Otterbox, right? Well, you shouldn't, because Otterbox case for the iPad 2 sucks in my opinion. This is the worst case. This case was $90. I expected a lot from it, but I was disappointed right away at the color choices. There are none. It's just this for iPad 2. Then I got it and it seemed okay in the box. And I put it on my iPad 2 and I could not believe it. It took me 4 minutes to put it on. And that wasn't because there was a lot of protective layers. It was because the two layers that it does have don't fit together properly. They're really, well, actually it's 3 layers because it has a front, but that's whatever. But it's just not well made. The front cover, that silicone, doesn't fit into the plastic very well, and you spend forever like fitting it in or whatever. But if a baby or a young kid was chewing on it, it would come up very easy. Obviously you're not going to use the iPad with the front on, so when you take it off and try to hook it to the back, which it would be for the majority of the time, it does not stay at all, and it aggravated me so bad. It's on there and then you're using it and it just comes off that easy. I would never ever ever give this to my kids. It also has a stand on the inside and it's a joke. I'm sorry, it's not good. The inner part doesn't offer a lot of protection. It doesn't have a screen cover. This is just your iPad right here. It's not covered. And I'm not happy about that, because for kids you want something that is not going to allow the screen to get messed up, and you don't want to just have to rely on a sticky InvisiShield screen protector. This button is covered. It feels weird, and sometimes it is very laggy. Like right now, it's taking time to respond. I don't like that at all. The port covers are a joke. This is okay. This is not bad. This does for the headphones, it does not stop. It doesn't stay good at all. Like, you can really force it down there and then it still comes up. If you were a young kid and you're absent-mindedly watching TV or something, like, I can definitely see my kids chewing on that without even thinking about it. This flap down here is for the stand, or it's a joke. Like, this cover is not good. I would not recommend it to anyone, much less someone that's giving this to kids. This is not a case for kids. It's not a case that's going to give you a lot of protection like you expect from Otterbox, so I would not recommend it at all. The next case I'm going to be doing is the Griffin Survivor, and this case comes in black, green, and pink. Did I say the Otterbox doesn't have color choices? Because it doesn't. It's just the black one that you saw. But anyway, this is the Griffin Survivor, the pink version. It comes in green and then black and pink. This has a screen protector and it fits really well. When I gave it to my husband, he didn't know that there was a screen protector on it, so there's not a lot of space. I can tell, not in the middle, but when you come to the sides, sometimes there's like little pockets where it, well, actually it feels pretty tight now, but earlier when I had it on, there was like pockets kind of by the side, but it wasn't real big. I know you're thinking like, oh, I would hate that, but it wasn't really bad. I'm just really picky. The screen's really responsive with the cover on. it's pretty much like being naked, a naked iPad. This has a cover, front camera. The back camera has this cover like this, and this, it's not covered by anything else, but when you have it closed, it's good. It has port covers, and they fit in good, unlike the Otterbox. Look, it's not sticking out. It goes in very well. Same with down here. It works good when you push it back in there. It stays shut. It's not lifting up. The speaker does have a little bit of a muffled sound whenever the flaps close, but if it bothers you, which it shouldn't because you can barely notice, you can open it. And this over here keeps the case together really well, and it's a really good grip. You can put it on this side or move it to this side, wherever you want. And it also serves as a stand. You can pop it off, and then this part right here comes out. Well, of course you could pop it off keeping it on there, but it's easier like this to show you guys. You pop it out and then pull this little part down, and then it's a stand, and you can keep your iPad in there and watch a movie, or, you know, whatever. It's a really good stand. I like this case. I think it's a really, really good option for anyone, but especially with kids. It does add bulk. My husband was like, oh, this is heavy, but it's not the heaviest one by any means, and it offers a lot of protection. They say that it offers protection against wind, rain, sand, but who's going to do that with their iPad? But giving it to young kids, I know from my first experience with giving my iPhone 4 to my kids, they can put it through a lot, and so extra protection is never a bad thing when it comes to that. So really good case, the Griffin Survivor. The next case I'm going to do is the iPad iBallz, and actually this can fit on a Kindle, some other tablets too, so it's not just for iPads. They're not particular ones for iPad 2 either. So it's not as tight of a fit as it is on a regular iPad, on the iPad 2. You can use this to hang it on a doorknob or something if you're reading, or hang it on the wall. These are made to be shock absorbers. If you drop it, it protects the corners. And also if it's laying on a flat surface, they keep it up off the table, and so if they claim that they're spill proof because it keeps the iPad away from the spills. Personally, I do not recommend this as a kid's protector for iPad, because obviously a lot can still happen to this with just the corners protected. All the portholes are still open, and water can get in there, and these can come off easy. And one thing I was disappointed about when I got them was that they already have these little scuff marks right here. This was straight out of the package from buying it. I don't like that. But it's aesthetic, but these are $20, and maybe if you have a 10-year-old that you're giving your iPad to, this might be handy for you, or if you're really worried that you're going to drop it and you're an adult, maybe that's handy, but as far as kids go, it's not offering a lot of protection. The next case I'm going to be doing is the Edge Super Shell. And it comes in green, and I believe I've seen it in another color, but I couldn't find it to order. But this is the Edge Super Shell. It has a kid case designed with kids in mind. The button down here is not covered. There's no screen protector. The back's completely covered. The speakers are open, so water can get in there if there's a spill. This is the camera, and it doesn't have a cover, but it's far enough in there to where it offers some protection. This is pretty thick, and it feels kind of rugged. It does seem like it would give some protection. Right here, the volume controls are covered, and if you push those buttons, the top one works. It's kind of hard to do it, but it does work. But if you press the bottom one, like more than half the time it doesn't work at all, and it's very hard. There's no access to the power on and off button, and so I really don't like that. I think eventually that would encourage my kids to take it out of here, and that's the last thing I want. So I'm not understanding why there's no on-off access. The port for the The headphones is in there pretty good, and that's good because it's offering a lot of protection. Even though it's not covered, it is far away from a place where spills or something can get in there easy, or whatever else the kids are going to do. And the same with the dot cover down here. It is pretty far in there. I think this isn't very heavy at all. It doesn't add any bulk to it. It just makes it thicker. A lot thicker than the iPad was before. But it's not real heavy. It's like a styrofoam kind of material. Not really styrofoam, but I don't know. But this would be a pretty decent choice for kids, especially like a 5-year-old. I think this would be a really good case for them. I just really miss the on-off power button access because I mean you can't do it without taking it out. Other than that, a good kid case. The next case I'll be doing is the Gumdrop Drop Series cover. This case is $60. It has really thick padding, and it does add some bulk, some weight to this, but it's not too heavy. The Otterbox Defender case is much heavier than this. It has a screen cover attached, and it's not laggy at all. The button's also covered, so no gunk or water is going to seep into your button. The screen is super responsive. No lag time. It's like a naked iPad screen. Front camera is covered. The back camera is not covered, but it is sealed really well. It doesn't seem like water or anything's going to be getting in there. And they just don't put a cover on there because some people feel like it makes their pictures foggy, so they didn't add that feature. The ports are all covered really well though. Port covers snap back in there really easy and quickly. This volume notches, they stick out and they're really easy to use, even for a kid. The speakers are covered and then they have outer holes. And so it's not muffling your sound, but it's keeping it away from a spill or something. And then this bottom port is covered really well. This is really thick right here, and it pops back in there really good. So this is the Gumdrop Drop Series, and this is a really good option for kids, especially kids that are hard on things. This is going to offer a lot of protection, and it's up there with the Griffin Survivor case as far as kids go. The next case is from Speck. It's the HD Pixel Skin case, and as you have probably noticed, it looks a lot like the Apple smart covers. The difference is the magnetic strip does not wake the iPad up on open with this, but it does come with the attached cover. It comes in really good color choices. The cover feels nice. It has the pixels on there, and it feels nice, but this isn't real thick, and as you can see, all the ports are open. So it's really pretty, and I would like this maybe for myself, but for a young kid or someone that's off waiting for a case that's going to offer a lot of protection for their iPad, this is not going to be it. Like if you dropped it, it still might shatter the screen maybe, and it's not offering any kind of protection for the cover, but it is a good folio alternative, just not for real young kids. The next case I have is the Speck iGuy. It's a case specifically made for kids. It has a little bit of a problem because whenever I hand this to my kids, I'm pretty sure they're going to hold it like this. And some apps, you know, they only go long ways, and so whenever it's in a landscape setting, it's fine, but it's awkward to hold it like this. But this case is pretty thick. The ports are all open and the buttons are all accessible, but because they're pretty far in there, this case does offer some protection against water getting in there and stuff. A problem that I can see happening with this is if, like you had it sitting on a table or a shelf or anything for your kids, they might come over and lift it by this part, and when you lift it by this part, it kind of sags a little bit, and then I think the kids would realize that you could just pop it out really easily. And so I felt like if I left them alone with it for a while, I may come in and find them with the iPad out, and I don't really want them to know how to take it out. And so that's a problem I had with this case, but it's pretty cute. The back is covered. It seems like it would offer a lot of protection if they dropped it. It's just the front is not covered, has no screen protector that comes with it. You could always put one yourself, but it doesn't have one that comes with it. And of course, it's not water resistant, or very water resistant anyway. Anyway, that's a Speck iGuy, and it's $40. Another case I have is the Amzer Silicone Jelly case, and this one's in purple. What I like about this case is that it is thin, but it has more padding in the areas that you need it, like around the corners, and then in the back it has this extra shock absorbing layer right here, and it's thicker than the rest of the case, so it offers a little bit more protection, but it's still a pretty thin case. It is thicker than the HD Pixel Skin case that I showed you before from Speck. It does offer a little bit more protection than that, but the ports are all open. They're not sunken in very much, and this button isn't covered, so you can still get gunk and maybe water in there. But I really like the color selection that this company has, and I like the price of this. It's really inexpensive at $20.88. I feel like this is a really well priced case, and you get a lot for the money that you do pay for it, but it's still not a really good case for really young kids because of the open ports. And it does have an issue with pillowing a little bit, like it comes out right here, a little pillow, and down here. And I'm pretty sure that happens because of the way that I put the case on. It's a really tight fit, and I was really glad my nails weren't any better manicured than they are right now, because it really did a number on them. But cute case for maybe older kids or adults. Not a really good case for really young kids that you're afraid may slobber or have it somewhere and spill a drink next to it accidentally. The next case I have to show you guys is the Big Grips iframe case. It's another case made for kids. It's pretty thick, like the Image Super Shell and the iGuy, but it doesn't offer any back protection or scratch protection, and the cover is clean and doesn't have any kind of cover protection. Neither does the button. This is $35. It's kind of has a little bit of an odor, and it's made out of the same material as the bath blocks. I don't know if you guys have ever used those for your kids or anything, but the little styrofoam blocks that you can get wet and stick to each other, that's the kind of material that this is made out of, as well as the iGuy. And the smoother it is, the more it reminds me of that. But the Image Super Shell is kind of made of the same thing too, it's just more textured and thicker. But this is a little bit harder than the iGuy. It offers protection as far as the ports go because it's so far in, but they're not actually covered. It does give you access to the on and off switch, unlike the Image Super Shell, but the problem is that I'm not sure that a kid would be able to reach their hand all the way in there, or their finger all the way in there to access it themselves anyway, so maybe that's not such a big positive aspect about this. But the back is open. The only good thing about that is that you can see some of the engraving up here if you have your kid's iPad engraved, or yours, or whatever. But you can only see the bottom part anyway, so that's not a really good aspect of it. But it does work well for kids. I am a little bit worried, like if there pressure was put right here, that it may pop out the front, because it's pretty easy to put in, but it doesn't bend nearly as easy as the iGuy, the frame around the iGuy does. So again, this is the Big Grips frame for iPad 2. Pretty good option for kids. It comes in blue, green, and pink, and for some reason the pink is the easiest to find, which, you know, is usually not the case with cases, but so yeah, that's why we have it in pink. And the last case I have to show you is by Trident. It's the Trident Kraken case, and this comes in several different colors: red, black, white, blue, pink, I think maybe gray. I'm not sure. I really like the color choices and the way that this case looks. This is covered in the back, so it offers protection around the apple. The front does have a cover. The bottom button is covered and offers water protection as well from the silicone jelly case that's inside the plastic case, so it offers two different layers of protection. and that's going to keep water and gunk out of your button, and sometimes that does become a problem with Apple products. The case cover, I do notice when I first put it on that there's a little bit of space in between it and the glass, but it's not real bad. It doesn't bother my husband at all. But I notice a little bit of a difference, a little bit more space in between there than the Survivor case has and the Gumdrop case. It's just a little bit less responsive, but there's no problems, and like I said, it doesn't bother my husband at all. It does have clips at the top, and I can see my kids messing with these, but it would be no problem because once they're just there to really keep the case tightly together, but when they're off, the case isn't separating at all or anything like that. It takes some force to take it apart, so it wouldn't be a problem if your kids mess with those. The ports on this are very well covered, and they fit back in there really well and easily. They're not sticking out. The volume buttons work well, and the port cover down here works well too. And the speakers are covered, and like the other case, it gives a little bit more room in between the back of it in case it was sitting in an accidental spill or something, so it keeps your speakers a little bit more protected. But they actually are still open so that your sound's not getting muffled, so it is something that could be a little bit of a problem, but overall it's pretty well protected. This is a really good option for kids, and this is up there with the Griffin Survivor case and the Gumdrop Drop Series case as far as protection goes. I think those three overall are probably your most protective cases, whether you're buying for yourself or your kids. If you want something that's really going to keep your investment safe and to let it go on for a year or so, at least after your Apple warranty goes out. So I think those are really